This episode starts with Alex parking his car in the agency car park and rushing to the lift, hoping he'll get there in time. Crystal is also seen trying to locate her ways and trying to get to the meeting room in time. However, when she thought she was late, she realized that Karen was already there, and they introduced themselves to each other. And the reason why Karen was early was because she was revising. Leah and Alex followed soon after, but Mike was the last one to enter, bursting through the doors and panting when it was 10:03 a.m. Thankfully, their manager has yet to arrive, and Alex scolded Mike, leading to a bad start for the duo. Thankfully, Karen managed to resolve things quickly before the manager came. Our manager is called Manager Jean, and once Manager Jean came to introduce herself, she started her very first briefing for Amaze. This briefing is like any other admin briefing at the start of the school year for some teachers, like her expectations for the team and the staff. While Crystal and Alex were taking down notes, Karen secretly set up her phone stand to record the briefing, and Leah listened to the briefing as closely as she could. Mike was the only one that didn't do anything about it, choosing to swivel around his chair with his hands behind his neck instead. Yet, no one really cared, as all they wanted to know was to know about the group better. An important slide came soon after, and it was all about the segment host. Thankfully, Karen came to save the day, as she was Mike's friend because they had worked on a couple of shows together. The segment hosts are as follows. Crystal will be the puzzles and patterns, Alex making music, Leah body move, Mike shapes and space, and Karen as a wordplay host. After that, they all went to look at their sets with different colors. The Song of the Week set had a brown and yellow stage, and right in the center had a bright red A plastered at the top. The floor surrounding it was beige in color. The floor surrounded the stage was brown in color and had symbols scattered all over. On either side next to the stage, there were two colorful pink pillars which had symbols and were pink, yellow, blue, red, and color. Behind the stage, there are a few brightly colored walls, which everyone figured gave some deja vu to High Five. They also noticed a screen printed on the set, which also had a High Five element to the set. The puzzles and patterns set had many bright cupboards all over, all in the colors of Google. You know what I mean. There was also a bright purple table for her to do various things for her set. And then they went to Alex's set with a very simple and bright room. The wall was blue with orange lines and blue music notes, possibly signifying a score. He had to sit on a dark blue bench, and the floor was bright yellow now. When he had to take his picture, he forced a smile, and Alex was told to relax, and he got it the second try. Also, just to let you know that Crystal took her photo, but I didn't mention it because nothing major happened. I will only mention any major photo shoot incidents if anything major happens. Okay, back to the story. Leah's dad was next, which was the most spacious of them all, which was understandable because for those who have never watched High Five, body move is the segment where you move around the most because it promotes body movement and coordination and an active lifestyle. The floor of this set was smooth and slippery green. There was a single prop with a half wall with red and white strips and a dark blue screen. This screen will change based on the episode and segment, and she will have the most number of segments with 4, just like Charlie Robinson or something from the original High Five. Leah got into a split and smiled shyly, but the cameraman once again told her to relax with a different kind of advice, which is called looking more confident. To help her relax, a ball with the sled flew into the set, and it was Crystal's idea. Leah and Crystal played a game of ball and Leah finally managed to relax. She got into the same pose again, but was more energetic than before. Her shoot was then clear. Mike said took his segment name pretty literally. His room had a wall with starry sky, and shapes were hanging from the sky as well. There was a rod located at the top, and hanging from the rod was a swing. What's even cool is that it's catchable, according to the producer. Mike smiled naturally and posed for the camera, and it was not long before it was finally Karen's turn. Karen's room had an orange screen with a green half wall, and the floor was brown in color. She had two colorful pillars by the side just for decoration. In the middle was a tall table covered with purple cloth, and on the counter was a bright blue box with blue diamonds with golden lining. Have I forgot to mention that Crystal is actually the puppet for wordplay? If yes, I'm going to tell you now. So Crystal had to go underneath the counter and find an opening to Bouncy. So Crystal did as she was told, and then she managed to pull out the puppet to have Bouncy standing up. Karen and Crystal then posed it, but Crystal as the puppet. The final set would be the sharing story set, and there were many colored pillars with alternating tiles. There was also a bench for the narrator, and the floor was also brown. It's usually empty and will vary by the episode, but there was a green bench for that day. All the girls sat on the bench while the boys sat on the floor. After the shot, they finished their promo shoots for that day. Their next job would be recording their new theme song, called Amaze theme, which was closer to the 2020s pop. They were led to the recording studio, which was a spacious room with a screen clustered on one of the many walls. There were 4 different doors for recording, all isolated on their own. Their manager told them that the theme song was under animation. Whoever chose to use the main recording terminal would be prepared to record staring right in front of a blank screen. Unsurprisingly, the newly appointed Crystal chose to be the one staring at the blank screen. As everyone watched her stand right in front of that screen, everyone else decided to proceed to the mini cubicles for recording. Everyone sang simultaneously on one end, while on the other end, the sound manager and their manager reviewed their performances. Everyone was in tune and sang with all their hearts. At the end, Crystal called everyone out one by one to listen to the recording. When everyone heard their recordings, they all smiled at one another in excitement. All their journey as children idols was going to be the best. All that was what Crystal thought at that point. The final activity for the day was another photo shoot. However, this photo shoot would be an introduction video, and this one was for the group 1 to introduce the next generation of High Five. This time, they were allowed to go to the costume rental shop to choose their own clothes for the photo shoot. A special designer would then analyze the personalities and choose the best clothes from there. Mike was quick to choose a hoodie, and just as he chose his pants, someone gave him a white shirt that would go well with the hoodie he chose, and he finally chose his sneakers, and he finally disappeared to the changing rooms to change. After 15 minutes, everyone walked back to the photo-taking room with the new clothes they have found. Karen was decked in a dark grey sweater and pink shirt. Around her neck was a punkish choker. Crystal wore a dainty dress with heels matching the dress she was wearing. Alex donned a purple sweatshirt with a white sweater with blue diamonds all over. He wore dark blue jeans, a blue cap, and black sneakers. Leah redid her hair in a braid, wore a tan-colored dress, and matched colored shoes. Everyone was totally different people now. In the photo-taking room, everyone stood together and posed like they would usually do, representing each of their individual personalities. After the photo shoot, they went back to the costume rental shop and changed back into their initial clothes. The next day's events were then revealed after that. They had to record the audio for their individual introductions, and there would be a news event in the evening. Everyone was dismissed then and there. Okay, done. So the next day, Crystal had to report to Malayan agency along with her amazing friends. It was officially revealed that no matter which manager they used to be under, they will officially be under Manager Jean from that day on. After settling down, everyone will have to do a recording for their animated introduction videos. Because Crystal was already the leader, she had the opportunity to go into the recording room first. She went to the same room she did the previous day. However, it was now a pre-edited speedrun video she was watching. After looking at her script once more, the recording manager asked her to start recording. Crystal thankfully managed to rattle everything off she prepared the previous night and cleared it at the first try, which made her feel really happy as she could go to the dance studio early and do some extra revision for geography and history. Once all the recording has finished, she headed to dance studio 4, where everyone was just doing their own thing. She was about to check her social media when Manager Jean had arrived. Now it was time for Amaze to have their dry run for their social media, their news release. After lunch, they'll have free time, and at around 5, they will have another quick dinner before heading to the news station, and they will be dismissed from work from there. They had to start with their introductions first. So, Crystal started first and cleared through the first round. Alex, they followed, but he had to repeat himself because he was really monotonous. For Leah, she came next and had a somewhat unnatural introduction because of her desperate attempt to speak up. Karen was henceforth decided to demonstrate to Leah what it's like to speak up naturally. Leah tried once more and decided to give it another try, and hence she managed to clear the next introduction. After that, Mike came up and he screamed his introduction, shocking everyone. Alex shook him up and down and got a little violent, but Manager Jean warned them about Mike toning down his energy, and Mike managed to redo his introduction perfectly. And Karen managed to get through it naturally, just like any actor would. After that, everyone came together to do their very first team introduction. They also prepared some interview questions that the reporter may be asking them after that. After the interview practice, they were given their own downtime and spent it however they wanted. Many hours later, they had their dinner before heading out to the TV station. At the TV station, Manager G introduced herself to the reporter in charge of them, and she introduced herself to every single member. After that, she continued to do the reporter work until the man gave them the cue. They all ran in the order that Manager G made them do the introductions, and they introduced themselves for the first time in front of the public eye now. Once they were allowed to sit down, they started to talk more about Amaze. However, this is where there's some drama. When asked about becoming the next IFF and whether they grew up that show, Alex actually revealed that most of them grew up with the original cast except Crystal, who was the youngest. However, she grew up with the second and third cast. Alex even decided to rub it in her face, saying that she was the leader despite being the youngest member of them all, and got roasted by Crystal in public. Then after that, she apologized, and then she continued talking about her hopes for Amaze. And after that, they had to answer a really stupid question called, what is your favorite Singaporean dish? Which I won't really cover. After that, they told everyone to keep a lookout for Channel Octo for Amaze. and the news program henceforth went smoothly, except for a few parts. Manager G just praised them and told them not to make such a mistake by exposing their secrets in public ever again. So, the following day, there was even more drama. It was script release day, and after everyone gathered, with Mike being late once again, Manager G announced that it was script release day when she passed down booklets of the Amaze script. She also explained about what to expect for filming, which was about a color highlight at the right hand corner. There will be an image color for the costumes, and everyone's image colors will be highlighted in that color. Crystal's image color was pink, and I didn't mention this, but for Mike and Crystal, because they were the puppets for Oinky and Bouncy respectively, Crystal would be getting another green highlight for herself. The order of the segments depended on whose segment appeared first. She also sent another soft copy so that they could memorize the script on the go. She also mentioned how the filmings were only on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturday mornings. They could wear whatever they want unless it was stated in bold the exact dress code. They could also use their sets when it was on filming time, and she ended off joking that if they ever wanted to practice their movements to their segments, she would be willing to invest in extra materials to make it happen. After that, everyone read through the scripts like everyone did. And after 15 minutes, they had to keep their scripts in their bags and learn as much as they could. And they kept it without much difficulty, but Mike practically stuffed the script book into his bag, which was the size of a mom's handbag. Everyone stared at Mike in disbelief, and Alex screamed how crazy he was. But Karen managed to find a practical solution, which was to curl the little booklet up and use a kitchen rubber band. Manager Jean also reminded that they didn't have to argue over small things, and it was better to talk things through. They also had singing training after that. Everyone went through their first evaluations, but Karen failed her evaluation miserably. Nonetheless, they decided to just carry on with the songs, and Karen had to stay back after that. After another 2 hours of vocal training, Karen was held back as before they had dance training. Everyone then did their dance evaluation, where the coach also sang more praises about them, except for Karen again. But the teacher decided to just have a word with Karen after class and decided to just start teaching the moves to the first dance. Well, why do you think Karen was being held back? I think we'll have to wait for episode to find more.
Oh, better day. 다 이렇게 지워가겠지. 언젠가는 잊혀지겠지. 나 그제서야 웃겠지만 지금은 나도 어쩔 수가 없네. 날씨가 좋아도 기분은 전혀 좋지 않아. 난 놀리는 것 같아. 괜히 막 화가 나. 견디기 힘든 상황에 빠져서 허적대. 내 나와 정반대. 세상은 아무렇지도 않게 잘 돌아가잖아. 너 또한 잘 살아가더라고. It's not fair. 이건 불공평해. 지나가는 사람들 시선조차 내게 동정을 해. 되는 일이 하나 없어. 오늘 아침에 내려야 할 곳을 놓쳤어. 문득 네 생각에 뒤늦게 내린 인적드문 정거장이 오늘따라 쓸쓸해 보여서 그냥 눈물이 났어. 그렇게 한참을 걸었어. 믿기만 했던 네가 새삼스레 그리웠어. 너 붙잡을 힘도 없이 약해 빠졌었던 지난 날의 내가 너무 한심해서 다 이렇게 지워가겠지. 언젠가는 잊혀지겠지. 나 그제서야 웃겠지만 지금은 나도 어쩔 수가 없네. 아무것도 할 수가 없어. 지금 또 네 생각이 나서
today's action-packed episode of Amaze. The next episode will be a little calmer as Karen decides to get some character development after realizing she's the worst in singing and dancing. Until then, see you!